Yo, what is going on, guys? Fighting Game Select is back again. We got some more Street Fighter 6. And I know a lot of you guys have been purchasing some new controllers, but I had to get my homie Jammerz on board again. What is good, Jammerz?
Yeah, man, all good. Really enjoyed talking with you with our last topic here. And now Kizzie's brought me back, so you're going to have to hear my voice talking about something that's, it's interesting. I never really thought about it until Kizzie brought it up. So hopefully we can have another deep conversation with this one.
You know, before everybody used to be like, yo, leverless controller. Now that Uma won Capcom Cup, yo, should I buy an arcade stick? I'm like, bro.
Let's go back, what are we in, 2024? Let's go back 10 years ago. You were, I'd say the scene was predominantly like taken over by sticks, joysticks, some form of joysticks, maybe a controller here or two. But like nowadays, you just see anything and everything. Keyboards, steering wheels, DualShock 4s, DualShock 5s. You see the lot, right? Now, obviously, the cliche answer, which is correct, as Kizzie said, play what you like. Now, for the vast majority of people, when you get a new console, what comes with it? A controller for that console. So you're going to play the majority of your games with said controller. That's what I did. Because I used to be a pad player. I used to be a pad player throughout the 360 era, up until like 2015, 2016. And it's like, right, because it only made sense to me is, oh, I'm playing my PlayStation, I'm playing my Xbox 360, I will just use the pad assigned to the console. Then, obviously, I went to an event, I went somewhere and I used the arcade stick, I said, oh, okay, this is cool. And I realized that there were some techniques I could do on a stick way easier than I could do on a pad. But then some people say there's way more advantages having a pad than over a stick. But again, it's personal preference. But then let's just go into, let's throw the spanner in the works, which is the leverless controller or the hitbox. Funny story for you, Kizzie. So when I met C4, shout out to C4IQ again, when I met him back in 2013, he actually had a hitbox then. And I said, what on earth is that? And he said, it's a hitbox. And he said, no one really knows about it. He's been using a hitbox. He's been using a hitbox.
I like how you said it, because I feel like he definitely will say that.
Yeah, no one knows about this.
No one knows about it.
I promise you, C4 was using a hitbox way before it became like a thing, right? So you can imagine, Kizzie, how annoyed he was when everyone was picking up hitboxes in 2020 and onwards.
Oh yeah, he was going through it.
And I had this chat with him because C4, before we get back into this topic, C4 is a guy that has ideas 5 to 10 years in advance. I said, I think you're just ahead of your time. I just think you have the idea, but you're not the person to kind of propagate the idea and like kind of spread the good word for it. Because
I could just hear, but why?
It's the whole thing. But yeah, no. Hitbox came into the, like, it was the spanner in the works, and it's really worked out for a lot of people. It seems to be the biggest or the most common thing now. I'd say the most common things I see from people using on Street Fighter 6 is either a hitbox or a controller. And I'd always, I don't know if you do this anyway, but I'll make it kind of more obvious for people and yourself, Kizzie. Whenever you watch an event, not just for Street Fighter, when you watch an event, pay attention to when the match begins and when it ends. Maybe more so when it ends, because you might not be there as they're setting up for this on the stream, by the way. Just look at the controllers they're using. What is it predominantly going to be filled of? Pads or hitbox, maybe the odd occasion a joystick, right? And maybe when you get near the top 16 or the top 8, it might be predominantly hitbox and maybe 1 or 2 pads, but joysticks are seldom seen nowadays. There was clear advantages for using a hitbox in Street Fighter 5. In Street Fighter 6, it doesn't really matter what you use, because in Street Fighter 6, I do lab work on pad, but I play the game on stick. Because for me, as long as I remember the inputs, I don't think it matters what I use. But here's the funny thing, right? Imagine, let's say, Street Fighter 7 comes out and they said you have to learn this controller using your feet. Everyone would learn to use it using their feet, and it wouldn't matter what you use after that. Like, legit, it really doesn't matter.
I really wouldn't.
But I would say I don't think there is a best controller, because the thing is, you might want to do a panel for this. Get 1 pad user, 1 stick user, 1 hitbox user, but you'd probably all get the same thing. If you get hit by a drive impact, you get hit by a drive impact. I don't care what controller you're using. If you don't perfect parry, I don't care what controller you're using. If you drop a combo, which, Kizzie, I'm sure you've seen a lot of people do that when they're playing high level, they still drop combos no matter what it is they use. I'd say one thing I prefer from joystick over hitbox is, and it's because I'm not used to hitbox, so I do have a Razer Kitsune with me. It's doing Z motions on a hitbox and jumping forward. because of the up button where it's
my God,
located.
because of the up button is located. Oh, that's so annoying.
A hitbox feels really counterintuitive when you're learning it. When you get used to it, like, you can do no wrong. Like, you'll never you never commit a crime in your life again. Like, it's crazy. But with joystick and pad, they feel more fluent in what they do. But I'd say if you want to be way more specific, like, you can pick a hitbox. But one thing I'm pretty sure Kizzie has told the viewers this as well is anything you buy nowadays as a peripheral, it's an investment. So it's like, ask yourself, what are you willing to invest in, right? If you're going to invest in a stick, use the damn stick. Don't buy it just to say, oh, I've got one of these, and not use it. It's use it, right? Right now, as it stands, I don't think there is a best controller, because all three, we actually have tournament winners using all three, right?
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Yep. Angry Bird won with the stick. Yeah,
yep.
Angry Bird won the stick. So Kakaru uses a hitbox. He won games 8. Uma, he's won Capcom Cup, uses a stick. And we have had people, even the qualification process, they've used pads. So it really depends. I think what's annoying is when, okay, so we'll use Angry Bird for example. Angry Bird wins the stick. Everyone thinks they have to buy a stick to win either.
Yeah, I don't know when that started. That was never a thing until everybody started saying hitbox is the future.
Right. Okay. Now that's a little bit different, because that went at least in the Street Fighter community, that like spread like wildfire super quickly. And it's like, okay, you have Daigo telling you to use a hitbox. You have Tokido jumping on hitbox. You have Gachiken playing. It's like all the guys are using hitbox, and the whole Japanese contingent hitbox. You have a few European guys using hitbox, or they're learning hitbox. American players are switching over, and it's like, okay, so this might be a thing, especially if you want to optimize your playing experience and then have everything precise and on point. That's fine. But it's when someone wins with the hitbox, you think you must buy a hitbox. It's like when someone wins the pad, it's like, what are you going to do? Like,
we're going to Amazon.
Dust off your old pad, then go buy that, and then okay, Angry Bird wins the stick. You're not gonna change your controller based on what somebody won with. If you've got the finance, if you've got the capital, get all three, and then mess around with all three, I suppose. But I'm not gonna tell someone, oh, because said player won with this, you must buy this. You have to. I really wish there was a way for a lot of people to. Well, this is what events. This is what events are for. Try the Razer Kitsune. Try, a hitbox, because you actually might like the feel of it. Lashar looks like he uses a keyboard fused with a hitbox. Like, what is that? And it's like, it looks crazy. Have you seen his controller?
I did. Yeah, he got the little WASD.
Right now, imagine Lashar wins a huge tournament. What are you gonna do then? What you gonna go and buy one of those? You can't even find it. Like you
can't.
Right, you got to make it.
What, you gonna take a keyboard and then break the keyboard button?
Right. It's all like personal preference and subjectiveness. So it's this one's interesting, but I can never give you a clear-cut answer for that one.
Well, let me ask you this, man.
Talk to me.
In terms of traveling, which one was the most comfortable for you?
Okay. Ooh. I would say, okay, so when I travel to events, I bring both a pad and a stick. But I put my arcade stick in my suitcase, so I check it in the plane, and I bring my pad in my hand luggage because I bring my laptop. And because when I want to do some lab work before an event or revise some notes, I just pull out the pad and I can execute most things on the pad. What is actually easier to travel with? It's a pad or a hitbox, 100%. There's like literally little to no issues with them. They are.
Bro, I be seeing people have like a fanny pack, and they be having like their little their hitbox in there. I'm like, bro,
that must be the most comfortable and beneficial way to travel, because it's like I can play. It's like having a handheld. You can play anywhere, anytime, and just be ready to go. And it's not gonna hurt your shoulders. You're not gonna have like the joystick poking out, hitting your back and your rucksack. I know everyone knows what that feeling feels like with the joystick. Yeah. So. That if people want it for traveling purposes, then I would strongly advise you get a pad or a leverless controller. I would strongly advise that. You might have seen with the arcade sticks that people are literally readjusting or rebuilding the button layout because they want one button for drive impact right under where their thumb is placed for like the light punch and the light kick. They have a third button down there to react to drive impact with one button. I'm like, dude, people are like literally modding this stuff and readjusting things to crazy. So it's like, it might just go back to, all right, what do you want as your base before you customize the hell out of it like it's some Sims character?
It's really crazy. And like, you know, I've seen people who have more than 8 buttons.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, you do not need that many buttons. You know, with an attack or I knock you down, you do reverse and I block it. I said, those 16 buttons ain't going to help you. Like, those 16, they're not gonna help 16 you.
Buttons, you ain't gonna be taking them all with you and lose. I'll tell you that.
Dude, it's insane, right? And because I see people mod their sticks to react to drive impact with one button. I know some people use one button to do the parry. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was in Strive. People started like applying, or they actually started putting on a dash button. I don't know if they put that on the stick, but they done that in the game. They actually made a dash macro.
Yeah,
that's
they made
what it was
dash
called.
back. Yeah,
yes. And I was like, okay, so this, from there, coming into Street Fighter 6, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, okay, this might just be a thing. Like people are just, it's becoming common practice now. So
now you feel like Street Fighter 6 is like on an even playing field. Mm-hmm. Do you feel that is there any shape or form that you feel that like one controller is going to like die out in the competitive scene?
I think most likely we see it already, like you said. The stick is probably going to die out the quickest, but there'll people be carrying the torch till they stop playing because they just like arcade stick. They probably like the feel. It's something that they were playing since they were young all the way until now, and ask them to change controllers when it doesn't feel right. It's just awkward. Because listen, Kizzie, you know as well as I do, this happens especially with men, right? Once they're stuck in their ways, they are stuck in their ways. They are stuck in their ways.
Leave my box alone.
like that's it, right? If it's someone said, like you said, hey, I'm new, Street Fighter 6 is my first game, Tekken 8 is my first game, and I heard about these controllers. Do you recommend it? I'm like, well, I'd probably say let's try a DualShock first because you have it. If it doesn't feel comfortable, then I'd probably suggest the Hitbox next over a joystick.
With that being said, man, once again, where can they find you?
You guys can follow me on X, Twitter, whatever Elon Musk calls it, at HC Jammerz. You'll see me there. You can also follow me on my Instagram. I do use that on the odd occasion, at HC Jammerz as well. I do stream on the odd occasion, trying to be a little bit more consistent with streaming. I'm super inconsistent right now, but when it's on, you'll know about it. Twitch.tv/HC Jammerz. But other than that, Kizzie, it's been an absolute pleasure talking with you. Much appreciated once again for bringing on Fight and Select, because again, the stuff that Kizzie doesn't hear, I don't think it gets the props it deserves, because he's actually talking about a lot of topics that are super interesting, as well as bringing on the correct people for doing that as well. And I hope this channel prospers for as long as it possibly can.
And with that being said, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please let me know in the comment section below, what controllers do you play? How do you feel about your controllers? Do you guys feel like there's an advantage? Or do you guys just feel like we just all in the hype moments and everybody just want to say, yo, this is better than this? You know, that's in the era that we're in. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. Let me know also in the comment section below, who should I grab? I'll see you guys next time.